So there are three organs or systems in the body that I think are very, very vital and play a huge role in being the root causes of our chronic degenerative diseases. Three organs or systems of the body quite often are the culprit. And so I typically like to go for the big dogs first and address those big players and get them healed and repaired and balanced, and then see what happens to fall by the wayside as far as all of our symptoms, because holistic health and wellness isn't about chasing after the symptoms. Okay, it's about getting to the root cause, regardless of what the symptoms are. We want to get to the root cause and restore the body back to good health. We're not going to chase after the symptoms. That's a holistic approach. Now, it is very important, and of course, we want to be rid of the symptoms. We don't want to feel bad. We want to feel good, but we don't want to chase after them because, for example, all kinds of things could cause a headache. Well, we could spend our time just addressing that, all those different causes, just to try and get the headache away. When really, if we address and look at these three major players or organs and systems of the body, we just might be hitting on it and not even realizing it, as well as a whole bunch of other benefits too. Okay, so, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of these organs or systems of the body and why I think they're valuable. The first one is the liver. I like to actually even start patients off with a liver detox. And the reason being is that the liver has over 500 functions that we in our little finite minds even know about. Some of the major functions that it has, of course, it acts as the body's oil filter in our, like the oil filter in our car. Anything and everything that's not of value to the body has to pass through the liver first. Okay, and then the liver takes those toxins and waste, and I think of it as kind of like sorting the laundry. It'll say, okay, 50% of you guys go out through the kidneys, 25% of you go out through the skin, 23% the lungs, 2% through the colon. But it takes all of those toxins and waste and sorts out the laundry. So one hat that it wears is part of the digestive system, really. Another thing it does is the thyroid hormones, the true thyroid hormones, the T3 and T4 and T3, get converted in the liver. The T4 is primarily an inactive thyroid hormone, and that gets converted into T3, which is the active thyroid hormone. TSH, as a side note, is not a thyroid hormone. It's a thyroid stimulating hormone. So just to run TSH on blood work is not giving us the whole picture of the thyroid picture. So no wonder so many people are either on thyroid meds or have had their thyroid removed, or the opposite being true, they're having the symptoms of thyroid and they're just looking at that one marker and saying, oh, nope, everything's fine. So it's just not a good, it's not an effective number to look at, just the TSH. So the liver stores the red blood cells. The liver stores the glucose, which is the body's natural energy source. It is a big player in helping to regulate all of our hormones. It has a big role in that. So there's all kinds of functions with this liver. I'm sure that I'll come across some more, think of some more as we go along. But so I'm real big on addressing the liver first. If it's bogged down and toxic, has a bunch of toxins and waste in there because that oil filter is not working properly, we very well can be presenting with all kinds of symptoms. And just simply by cleaning the liver, we can be rid of those symptoms, not to mention restoring and balancing the body back to good health. So the liver, again, is real vital to me. The next organ or system of the body is the digestive system. I think it's real important that this be in good working order. So the digestive system. 50% of the, 70% of the digestive system is in the immune system is in the digestive system. About 70% of the immune system is right in our digestive system. Three organs of the digestive system are the big key players, and to put it very simply, I look at the stomach, the small intestine, and then the colon, or large intestine is another name for it. So stomach, small intestine, large intestine, otherwise known as the colon. And from a supplementation standpoint, which I'm not a big pusher of all these supplements, even though I know there's tremendous benefit and beauty to them, and I certainly take my share of them, but there are some supplements that I think are very foundational that we all really need no matter how healthy we are. And some of them are to address the digestive system. One would be some hydrochloric acid, and that's a topic for another day, but we are quite often told that we have too much stomach acid when the majority of people don't have enough stomach acid. And then we're being given antacids because we're told there's too much, and we really don't have enough, and it's suppressing even what we do have and prohibiting our vital vitamins and minerals from being reabsorbed, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D in particular. Okay, but again, that's a subject for another day, but the digestive system is real important. That's a supplement that supports the stomach. Then there's the digestive enzymes. The small intestine, the main function of that is the majority of the body's food is broken down in the small intestine. And this, by supporting the body with digestive enzymes, helps that digestive process and helps pass the food along, gets all the nutrients that it needs out of that food and reabsorbed, and then passes the waste along. And then the large intestine, the two main functions for the large intestine is simply to store the fecal matter for elimination and to reabsorb the water that the body needs. So that goes back to that organ of elimination, is one of them being the colon, and only 2% of the body's waste is eliminated there. And remember, we were talking about water with it. Well, if we're dehydrated, there's a good possibility that we're constipated. Or if we're constipated, that's a real good possibility that a good, easy solution is to drink water and see if that doesn't clear itself up. Okay, but because the body's reabsorbing that water back up to where it needs, even more importantly than in the digestive system, and that's in the cell. So if we're not drinking enough water, it's going to rob it from the colon. If we are drinking enough water, then it doesn't have to do that. So those are 3 organs or systems of the body that are vital. And if those toxins and waste aren't eliminated properly, they're staying in the body, which causes inflammation to the body. And I'm going to get into the inflammation in just a minute. But that is huge. 70% of our immune system is in the digestive system. And again, if we just address these areas, so many things, so many adverse symptoms and health conditions can be reversed and fall by the wayside when we address these areas. And then the last organ or system of the body that I'm very big on is the adrenal glands. Okay? And the adrenals, we have 2 of them. One sits on top of each kidney, and it has a lot of functions. And I'm going to get into that next.